Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. Today I want to paint a cute snowman on a 5x7 canvas panel, and the cool tip is to use, you don't have to watch the whole video, Phthalo Blue Green shade and Neutral Gray 5. You can use black too, and it makes some really yummy snow color. I have an example here. I have a similar traceable on my website, nebraska.com. It's a different church, but it's very similar to this. Isn't that fun? I just love the colors. I love the trees. I love the snow. Here's the Snowman traceable that's on my website. This is the one I'm going to paint today. Okay, guys, let's have some fun. I've got a 5x7 canvas panel from US Art Supply. I like them because it says acid-free for all media, 100% cotton canvas. So the 100% cotton acid-free makes it archival quality. So that's fun. You can buy them from their website. As I'm videoing this, they have free shipping, or they have some of their products on Amazon too. And then I haven't been showing this, but I want to, here, I like to write the word love on the canvas. And there's a link in this video description to Hippie Crafter. You can use any soft pastel. Don't use an oil pastel. Use a soft chalk pastel. I like these because they lean towards the harder side and there's not as much dust. So I use these quite a bit, but they look pretty new because I don't use them for much more. Well, I use them on my chalk wall too. I shouldn't say that. Oh, here, let's actually just use this color. I'm going to go a little bit more towards aqua. So I just like writing the word love. I think that's so fun. But see, yeah, I don't use much chalk pastel when I do that. I need to do a chalk wall video. I haven't done one in a while. I need to do one for winter, Christmas. Oops, I'm not putting this here. I'll put that together off video. Okay, we'll talk about the paints and then we'll get going. I'm going to show this one from start to finish, but I will have a little time lapse in there. So I already started one at the gallery when I was working down there the other day. So this isn't done, but it's getting close. Isn't that fun? I'm not sure if I like the dark. I might do this one a little lighter. I'm not sure if I like the dark wintry sky, but I'm also going to splatter snow on it. So that'll definitely show up. So we have cad yellow medium, but you can see the box is filled in. So there's a little bit of white in it. It's not transparent. It's a pretty color. I tend to like the option of transparency, and I can add white into. I use this one a lot. I use cad yellow medium hue, and I can always add a pinch of white into it to make it more opaque. And then if it's not yellow enough, I can add yellow back on top of the dried paint. But anyway, right now I'm using the cadmium-free yellow medium, orange, cadmium orange hue. It's kind of hard to see. Where is it? Oh, it's semi-transparent. Boy, I don't know if you can see that. There's a little teeny box. This is a really old tube and it's still good. I love that. Sometimes paint lasts for years. Titanium white. Where's my white? Here we go. Titanium white. Phthalo Blue Green shade. So it says it's completely transparent. Neutral Gray 5. If you don't have this, just use a little bit of black that you have in your studio. You'll just need less when you're mixing. Less of the black, so it's stronger. And then burnt umber. And then this color that looks black is a burnt umber and phthalo blue green shade. It's not quite black, excuse me, but you can see it's kind of greenish gray depending on if I have more blue or more brown in it. Okay, so those are the colors. Actually, I'm gonna miss that a little bit. What I'm gonna do is just grab another plate for my background so I can get messy. I can have a messy palette. And I'm gonna paint the background. You could paint around it. Here's another one I'm working on. You could paint around the background around the snowman, but I think I'm gonna paint the whole background on this one. So I'm gonna put out some neutral gray 5 for the background. I just love that sort of aqua color for the snow, like I showed you in the intro. I just think that's really fun. A little different. You could use any blue you have. You don't have to use Phthalo Blue Green. It'll shift your colors a little bit, but it'll be beautiful. Okay, and white. I'm going to use some of this white. It's just not heavy body. It's still titanium white. Whew. Yeah, it's getting down there. Okay, so how do I mix the color for that? And it varies with every painting. They're all a little different. But so I'll take quite a bit of gray because the Phthalo Blue Green shade is strong. Strong, strong. Oh, I do have 2 plates here. I could get rid of one. It was squeaking. Yeah, that's a little better. Maybe you guys like the squeak, or maybe you couldn't even hear it. So I always think, oh, I needed more blue, but sometimes, yeah, it's getting bluer. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes you need to mix for a minute. That actually might be pretty darn good. You could go bluer. Sometimes what I do too is if I can't quite tell, mixing on gray can help, can be a little bit easier to see colors and values. I like these styrofoam plates because they fit in the gallon baggies. I've got 1, 2, 5 of them going because I have different paintings going. I'm working on ornaments. Isn't that fun? This is a couple years ago. You can find it on my website, annietroe.com. These are new for 2022 as I'm videoing this. Isn't that fun? We're going to be doing these live. As I'm videoing this, I haven't done this live yet. I'll quit with the show and tell. So if I get a little worried, I kind of want to see. Whoops. Let's try that again. My knife wasn't totally clean. That would work. If it's too gray for you, let's add a little more blue. And then I can still mix bluer and grayer versions of this as I go. If you guys have been following me for a little bit, you know I like to mix kind of a main puddle, and then I'll make adjustments from there. Some artists completely mix on the fly. I kind of mix some puddles of the direction I want to go in, or what I think I want, and then I don't know if that made sense. Some artists mix as they go, like an oil painter, because it doesn't dry out. They'll mix just little variations along the way. But I'll mix a puddle of color to work from and mix variations from the puddle. There, I think that was clear. Okay guys, I'm going to time lapse painting the background because you'll get the idea. It's just going to be, one thing I do need to figure out. I'll draw a line here. I'm going to time lapse this. I'm going to trim this out, and I'm going to figure out where my horizon line is. I'll put some tape down, and I'll paint one side, let that dry, and then paint the other side. It's not too complicated, and then I'll be right back. Okay, let's stop a second and chat. So what I used was a 1-inch brush from Low Cornell. Maybe it'll focus. Yeah, I think you can see that. I really like this brush. I have a variety of brushes. I kind of buy what's on sale, what I have money for. Use what works for you. Nicer brushes, I think, in general. Like this is plastic and this is metal. It's not gonna, the wood isn't gonna expand and the paint isn't gonna pop off. They seem to, in general, hold up to my abuse too. I'm not real nice to brushes. I've washed this one out. But really, don't worry about it. Use what works for you, what you can afford. So I did a sweeping sky. I demoed this during a live. I'll link that in this video's description. And then I ended up grabbing a little blue on the corner of my brush just to make it a little bluer up here. And then I kind of had this grayer puddle that I mixed earlier in real time, and I just used that down here. So it goes from bluer to grayer, darker to lighter, and it was all wet on wet. If it starts to dry on you, just let it dry, or dry it with a hair dryer, and then come back and do it again. You don't have to get it all right in one go. And then you can just, like if you like the top part and it's dry, you can just blend up the bottom part. You don't have to try to get all one section and all one wet. Go is about the best word I could think of. What else? Oh, and I got a little, I think I had paint on my hand, so I got like a little blemish. I don't know if you can see that. But we're gonna splatter with all kinds of snow and stuff, so no worries. And then I took the tape off. That was artist tape. You can use masking tape. I like the artist tape. It tends to be a little bit nicer with the paint. And then I just painted this. So this is simple grass. I have a simple grass video. I don't know if you want me to link that, but just horizontal strokes. And then I set myself up just a little bit. It's a little lighter over here because my sun's coming from over here. Oop, I just got that wet. Yeah, that'll dry. It'll dry back here. So I can tell that this isn't cured because I got it wet and it kind of brightened back up. If we sat and watched it, it will dry back to the sky color. Just horizontal strokes for your ground. Lighter off in the distance, darker as you get down towards the bottom. And then I have a little bit lighter here. It's drying darker than I thought it was going to set myself up for a shadow over here with the snowman. Okay, I'm gonna dry this some more with a hair dryer. Normally I would wait at least an hour to let it kind of set up better. Overnight is good too. It depends on the weather in your area. Because when I scribble on the back of my Traceable with chalk pastel, the Hippie Crafter, or here's a Prismacolor New Pastel. They tend to be not as dusty either. I like those two brands for Traceables. You could use any brand, it'll work. You just blow off the dust, or actually don't blow it off, knock it off in the garbage can. You don't want the dust in the air. Anyway, I'm gonna scribble on the back with a chalk pastel, and then when I transfer that on, sometimes if the paint isn't a little bit more cured, the pastel actually gets stuck into the paint and you just have to paint over it rather than it dissolving into the wet paint. Okay, I think that made sense. I will be back in a bit. Hey, I'm back pretty quick. One thought that I haven't mentioned in my videos lately, if you use masking tape, this is just masking tape I got at the grocery store. I'll stick it to my clothes, my apron, and get it fuzzy so it's not quite so sticky. This kind of makes it a little easier sometimes to get it off because I don't want to tear, and I'll see I'm already having a problem. I don't want to tear the back of my canvas panel. So I thought I'd mention that. And then you might want to use a darker color. I used a little orange. So I held this up to the window so I could see the Traceable through the paper. So I held it up on this side but up to a window because then I can see the black lines coming through. And I just scribbled with a little bit of an orange pastel, and then I took that white New Pastel and scribbled over that. But since I have a lighter background, maybe you want to use black or a darker blue or something. When I did the white on this one, since this is a darker background, it worked a little better. Oh, sorry. Things are wiggling, I think. I don't know why it's wiggling. But anyway. This one has more drama because it has a darker background, more contrast. Okay, I think that's about it. You can use your background palette, or you could use just one palette for everything. to paint. I'm going to paint in the snowman parts right now. Or you could get out the palette I showed you earlier with all the colors, because I've got, on that one I've got the snowman, the Phthalo Blue Green shade, the neutral gray 5, and the white. I've got that. So I've got those colors here also. So you could do it either way. Actually, maybe, I don't know. I wish you guys were here and you could tell me. It doesn't matter. I think I'll just use this one since I've got it out. It's sitting right there. And I'm gonna paint the face and the body. I think I'll just use a, I don't know, I might use a little smaller brush. I might use a 1/4 inch flat brush from Michaels. It's a number 6. Because, here, let's mix a puddle too. I think I might just kind of use this bluish, grayish color and paint around the buttons, the nose. Oh, one thing I could do, here's a tip. I might switch palettes. Well, actually, let's just do this. Let's just do this. So you take a black, take a dark color. I had mixed burnt umber with the phthalo blue. And you can paint in the eyes, and then when you paint over them, you will probably still be able to see where they went. Or where they go. Past, present tense. Oops, I'm gonna grab a little water. I think I just had too much paint on my brush, but oh, this is a number 1 Artist Loft round brush. A lot of times I'll use a number 1 Simply Simmons. And you can dot your mouth. You could make it like pieces of charcoal or rocks. I'm gonna need to dry that with a hairdryer. You could do the buttons too like that if you wanted. Alright guys, so I'm going to work on painting the face after I hair dry this, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey, I thought I'd pop in and chat for a second. So I used the number 1 round brush for some detail. And then I'm using the 1/4 inch, I need to wash it off. 1/4 inch flat brush both from Michaels. This is Craft Smart. This is actually, I think, Michaels brand, Artist Loft. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get some paint down. I'm going to link, I have a step-by-step how to paint a pear, and it uses color too. Right now I'm just using pretty much, this is my sky color and then values of it, lighter values of it. And I'm basically painting almost like a pear shape, and my light's coming from here. One thing I wanted to comment about is when I did the tape background and painted the whole background, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little line that goes behind the snowman. I've got it covered, but there's like a little ridge that shows up. I don't know if that even shows on video. Whereas this one I painted around the snowman so I didn't have to worry about that ridge or that line behind there. And then I'm just, I just keep kind of playing with the value. You could bring it up as much as you want or not, but as I kind of have like quite a bit of white there, it pulls this cheek forward and kind of pushes the forehead back a little bit, or makes a shadow for the hat. So I think I'm going to stop here, except I'm going to put a little more. I'm going to try and cover up fill that line up. I don't know if I can. I can feel it when I paint over it. The other thing we can kind of do is lose an edge. Like that. That's kind of fun. I actually like that. And then that almost builds in a shadow. We might not have to paint a shadow. So how do I know to do this? Well, I know my light's coming from over here, and I just keep blending it. And if it starts to dry on me, I work on another area. That's basically it. And then I could, if I don't want so much white, I can come back like with some blue here. Mostly I'm just doing this to cover, try and cover that line that's going behind it. And I can feel it, like hit. Like almost like there could be a little click if it were a really thick line. Oh, and I can see it. I may not, the light's gonna catch it. I might not totally be able to get rid of it. And then sometimes like, oh, I kind of like that, right? I kind of lost, oop, that's coming back. Oh, and I have a little light coming around the back here. It's a little lighter. But I think next I'm gonna work on the hat, the arms, the coal. Oh, I pretty much lost. I can still kind of see it. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. There's an eye there and an eye there. I can see a little bit of a mouth. Okay, guys, I just wanted to pop in with what I was doing. I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I thought I'd pop in. So I painted that arm in the time lapse. I painted that one off camera, and I thought I'd come in with a couple little pro tips. So this arm, actually I could, I don't know. This arm, I'm gonna leave it alone. This arm has more of the blackish looking color. It's actually that, does that look kind of greenish, bluish greenish on video? It's the combination of the burnt umber and the phthalo blue green shade. And then this arm doesn't. And I kind of have them twisting a little bit different. Like this one almost twists back a little bit, which is fun. Okay, here's kind of the pro tip, kinda. I say kinda because I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment what you think. So I'm gonna take a little orange. I'm gonna brown it a little bit. And then warm up your arms. Put a little sun kiss on it. So I'm going to keep it up higher on this one. I hope you can see that. Here, we'll do this again. I'm going to grab just a smidge of water. I'm using a little #1 round brush from Artist Loft. It'll give it a little bit of a glow, a kiss from the sunlight. I might need a little bit more of my brush. Isn't that fun? And then you could do it with a yellow. I'm going to clean out my brush here. A lot of times people just paint, it's a branch from a tree and they paint it brown. totally. I paint a lot of things with local color, and local color means like if you have a photo you're painting outside, you know, the tree trunk, the branch is brown. But it also, if you really like pump up, like you take a photograph and you pump up the color in a program like Photoshop, that's a little matte medium right there. I'm just gonna do that. Sometimes it'll help you see color that's there that you don't really notice. Or you could just put it in even if you don't see it, because it's fun. I think I'll make that one a little more important and then maybe put it there. So if it's everywhere, it's nowhere, so don't put it everywhere. But I think that's fun. Here, I did it in this one too. This one I actually have some stronger orange in that arm. And I could put some, I have grayer browns. I could put some darker too. Okay guys, what else? Oh, and then I decided I was gonna make my hat and scarf green. You can totally make it red. Put out some red if you want to put out some red, or purple, or whatever color you like. I clean out my brush so I don't forget, because a lot of times if I don't do it right away, I forget to clean it out. So I took some of the same yellow, cadmium-free yellow medium. That's weird. No wonder I have trouble saying that. But I'm just trying to use up this tube because I use the cad yellow medium hue much more, because I can always add white to this, a little bit of white to this to get this. Okay, and I'm not sure that's how Liquitex did it, but it's super close. Anyway, so I took a couple blobs of the yellow and mixed my Phthalo Blue Green shade into it, made a couple of green puddles to play with. And I'm gonna work on my hat and my scarf. I might take even a little, use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I just went down in size a little bit. I've been using this 1/4 inch. This is probably an 1/8 inch flat brush. And I'm kind of tempted to take a little blue, but maybe I'll just take some of this dark green. So my sun's coming from over here. So learning to blend and shade things, and then sometimes even being willing to go darker in value or lighter in value. Like I've got quite a value change on the Snowman. You know, from, that might be almost white to kind of a blue gray. Those are two things that really can help you. Just practice those things. I'm going to talk about that pear painting again. I already talked about it earlier. The link is in this video's description. I'm going to put a little reflective light and then come back with the green. And this may need a whole nother layer of paint. Just kind of putting down what I'm thinking, and then I'll see if I like it. And if I need to go darker, I can put some blue in it. Okay, so you could have your light. What's fun about painting too is you can kind of bend light a little bit. We could have, usually have some glow coming down here on this side. Oops, I kind of lost the glow. It's because my brush is dirty. Here, I'm going to turn it this way. And if I lose it, I might have to put it back in. That's okay. I'm going to wipe my brush off on my paper towel. Now those values might not be just right, but they're in the ballpark. They're gonna get me there. I love how this orange nose is just popping. I painted white underneath it, so it's really popping. And I think I'm getting a little, I don't know, I was gonna say a little complementary color vibrancy, but really, oh yeah, blue and orange, sorry. I go into painting mode and my brain shuts off. Does anybody, put in the comments if anybody else has that problem. I can sing while I paint, but I'm much better at talking and painting, but still kind of a thing. Okay, I think you get the idea. Oh, here. I wouldn't normally switch, but while we're doing a little bit of a real-time demo here. So this will probably, actually this, I'll have in highlight. So that'll remind me. And yeah, I'm just painting the line in, but it'll remind me. It'll dry and we can blend it out later. And then actually, I'm gonna have a little darker green. Now that might be too dark, but that'll also remind me. I'm picking up some wet paint there. It's okay, I'm just gonna kind of scumble that out a little bit. Okay, clean off my brush. I just dipped it in the water and wiped it off on the paper towel. It's not super clean. This is a pretty lime green, I like that. Okay, so I want highlight here. And then that extra chalk pastel, I can just wash off tomorrow after my paintings had a chance to set up. You might be able to wash it off now, it just, that edge is wet. Or in an hour, it might be dry enough. It depends on a lot of things. A lot of times it just depends on the weather. When the weather switches from spring to summer, I notice I have a little bit harder time painting because I'm not used to the added humidity. And really, it should also kind of mess with me now here. We're in fall. It's October 22, 2022 here in Omaha. The air's drying out, so that makes my paints dry faster. But I think since I have the air conditioning on, it's keeping it a little bit more level. So there I did a little wet on wet blending. Don't have to, you can totally let things dry and blend them. Okay, so I got the basic highlights of my hat. Gonna do the same thing with the scarf, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey, so I'm playing with the values on the greens, and I could let this edge, I ended up rolling this more because I like the way it was it was a Bob Ross happy accident, but I like kind of the slouchiness of it. And then I could leave this soft right here where the snow meets the hat, or I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But if you want it to stand out a little more, I'm gonna grab a little water. We could put in a little darker line, and you don't have to put it in everywhere. Or you don't have to put along the whole edge. Oh, Freckles wants out. And then that didn't quite line up like I wanted, so I grabbed a little water in my brush. Oops, had a drop of water. So I'm just kind of scrubbing back and forth a little bit. It's getting much bigger than I think I wanted. I don't know, it might be okay. So I kind of wiped my brush off on my paper towel. All right, I'm like right on top of it. Hopefully that was in, I think that was in video. See what we think. I might have liked it better softer. You guys can let me know in the comments. I'm kind of scrubbing, but I don't think it's changing at all. I think it's starting to dry. Okay, I'm gonna let Freckles out and then I'll be back in a sec. Okay, guys, you know, I didn't like it when I did it, but when I came back and walked up to the painting I'm working, I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that there's a little dark. So we could, I just heard Freckles meow again. So if you want to make an edge stand out and just increase the contrast, you can either, I could have lightened up this part right here because they were similar in value, or I ended up darkening that. You just want more contrast if you want an edge to stand out more. Oh, that's not doing anything. I just don't want it too dark. That actually might have gotten too light now. Let's put a little gray in it. It's getting kind of blue. All right, and sometimes I think I want that, and then when I get over here, oh, here, I'm just kind of rolling my brush to make a point. And then I get over here, and it might not be quite what I want anyway. So a painting like this, it's catching the texture of the canvas, which I'm not liking for some reason. A painting like this probably take me 5 hours, which is why I time lapse. I don't know if we need to do it here, but as long as I have it in my brush. Oh, there we go. I think that's actually gonna be okay. I think I'll just leave that alone. So I thought that might be an interesting tip. I put some white on my, just to bring up the highlights. So I put some white on some of the green areas. And then what you might want to do, I've got some like light yellow. You could just warm it up a little bit. We'll smear that, which actually might be a little bit better than the straight up white. And then I did this in the time lapse. I just kind of dabbed to give it a little fuzzier texture. So there's some straight up, I put yellow there. So maybe we'll put some yellow up here. And you can keep playing with this a lot. I think that's kind of juicier. It always dries a little darker, so sometimes I'll come back and, oop, not much is coming off my brush. So the background, I have the background as a shadow right here. I might, I don't know if I like it. I can put it back in if I, oops, that's blobby paint. It's kind of drying on me. So one thing, here's another pro tip. We'll see, I think I might like that better. It's a little less, it's a little softer. In general, now of course there's exceptions even in my videos, like I might put on, here, I'm backtracking too much. In general, paint thin to thick, just like it's an oil painting, because it's harder to paint over the texture. You can always add the texture at the end. Now I have done some abstracts, so I put the texture on the canvas first and then painted. So there's always exceptions. I just realized I haven't painted in my snowball. And then I've got like, is that just chalk pastel? Oh, that is just chalk pastel. See, when my wet finger kind of wakes up the paint a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, it'll dry back to the same color. But you want to be careful. So So I think I'm going to take some of my lime green for now. Oh, nope, it's just way too close to the same value. You know what, guys? I got something going on outside my studio. I'll be back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So yeah, I don't always know the right color or the right value, but I want this edge to show. Oops, no, that's probably too dark. I make those adjustments all the time though. I giggle. But you'll see me, like, if you watch my lives too, I'll go, oh, too dark. So that's where I like having a couple of colors mixed, and then I can mix a color in between. And then I paint over things I've already painted and come back and adjust. I do like the you know what, I might, sorry, I see stuff and I want to paint it while I'm thinking of it. When I get back, I think this is okay right here. I do like the yellow. I'm gonna clean out my brush. Or you could switch brushes. I was watching an artist who she oil paints, which is nice because then her brushes don't dry out. And she just has like several of these brushes because she likes this size for whatever she's doing. She's doing portrait work, so she does a lot of small detail. And she'll like have an orange brush and a green brush and a blue brush, and she doesn't have to clean them out. Like, that was smart. But my brushes dry out, so I don't know if I could get away with that. I'm gonna grab a little yellow. I like that. I like the little pops. I grabbed a little yellow and white there. Oh, yeah, I am in... Things slide as I paint. I start to pay attention more to the painting than the video. I might just run a little... Oh, that didn't really do anything. Oh, maybe a little bit, actually. Let's play with the values. I could run that edge up a little bit, or I could even pull it this way. Add a little contrast there. Could darken it there. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape with the scarf. I was gonna add little tassels, but I don't think I will. I mean, you could. Little lines. I don't think I'm gonna. Sorry guys, I'm evaluating my painting. I think I'll paint this, which is basically like the snowman body. It's just a white puff ball. And then here's something we could do as long as I'm doing a little bit of a live demo here. I don't know if that's gonna be, that might be too dark. So I've got a little bit of water in my brush, which is gonna help me. So switch gears, change my mind. And I just dropped my brush. Let's put her mouth back in. So I could use the blue like we did, but I think I'm gonna use this darker color. It's the same color as the buttons. It's kind of a greenish black. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see my eyes still, so I know about where I want them to go. I'm just dabbing. You can make them rounder, whatever you like. You could put the traceable back on here if it's dry enough and mark the eyes again. Yeah, you could tape it back on. Yeah, every time I get water on there, my paint's not cured. You can see it lightening up. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about where the mouth was. I grab a little water just so it flows. That's why I'm kind of swirling it in there. Well, that's kind of fun. That was not exactly what I wanted, but I like how it looks. That comes with practice and time, and sometimes you mess up. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna work on the puff, and then I'm gonna put like little blue blush on my snowman. Do I have it on the other one? Oh yeah, I do. Oh, and this one I glazed yellow. I used matte medium and some of the yellow and have like even warm sun. Let me know if you like that in the comments. And I think I'm gonna make this guy have a red hat, just so, because I'll sell them at the gallery, so they're a little bit different. And it'll be funny. I mean, this might, in my opinion, turn out to be a better painting, or this one, and they'll buy it because they like the green or the red hat. You know, it's just how it goes. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I've been playing with this some more. I like the yellow hearts. I use kind of my blue-gray green, so burnt umber and phthalo blue green shade makes a dark color. For the hangers, for the hearts, you could use a Posca pen. You might like that better. Shake it with the cap on. I don't want paint going. I'm laughing because I've done this. You don't want paint splattering. Let's see if I can show you the line weight here. Let's see. Where am I not gonna? Oh yeah, that would totally work. It is, I think it's a 7mm. I believe most of that is Japanese. Yeah, I think I got these on Amazon. I've seen them at Michael's. Most art, maybe even most craft stores have them. I do have a thicker one, but I think it'd be too thick. I use this one to sign on the back of my paintings. It says 9 to 1.3 millimeters. Bullet shaped. Oh, so it's rounder. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's fatter. Just in case that helps. I used a #1 round, and then this line is fatter than that line, but I didn't worry about it. And then I came back with some lighter color just to vary it. Oh, I actually put a little darker there, and then I messed up my fingers, so I came back with a little brown and fixed my fingers. And I'm gonna splatter. So I've got some paper towel already torn. You could just wipe it off too as it goes. Oh, you know what I see? I don't need to do this right now, but it might be dry enough. I've got some white chalk pastel up here. That's a little flaw. I don't know if you can see that in the video. I can also wash this off tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna cover the face. I can come back and put some dots in. I think we'll cover the button. You know, I think I kind of want to, so that's paper towel. Sometimes I just use, like this was Dove. Shout out to Dove. Love your chocolate. But sometimes if you want to tear something little, I don't know, is that a little too big? Of course, I could just fold it. I don't know if I want it over the heart. It's kind of big. I'm laughing because I'm trying to tear it just so. It's kind of funny. I like that better. All right, I don't want to breathe because it's gonna go flying. So if you have a longer bristled, in this case it's a small painting, so a small round brush. I'm kind of looking, I don't think I've got it. Oh, here's, that one's thicker. I think I'm gonna use this one. I've got a nice watercolor brush, but I don't want to use it because it's for watercolor. So I mixed another pile of blues, or I mixed this blue in that last little bit of time lapse. So you want kind of like milk. Oh, here. Let's move our sunlight. We're done with it. Because it goes flying. I have little splatter spots on everything. I'll just tap it. I'm going to grab just a smidge of water. There. I like doing this for the fine snow, and then I'll come back and put bigger dots. I like that we lost that edge down there. Oh, and then I put like little hints of snow peaks. Oh, I need to initial it too. I haven't done that yet. So that's probably enough. Enough of the dark. Cleaning up my brush. Oh, I really like the little highlights I put. I think I already talked about that. So I started this painting at 2. I took a break for dinner about 5:15. So that's a little over 3 hours. There might have been a little break in there, a couple of little breaks. Like check emails, let something dry. And then I started this again about, gosh, I've been working another hour. So I was saying 5 hours to paint this. I think I'm closer to 4. And don't feel like you need to paint it that fast. I think I'm gonna just use white. I scraped off the old white and I put out fresh white. I put out way more than I needed. I was thinking about something else. But I am gonna paint the other one, so I can still use this palette. Or I might paint quite a few because I'll sell these at the 2 galleries. And this one with the yellow heart definitely can go into January, February. Okay, I don't know that I changed that at all. Let's just see what it does. It looks a little thick to me. And I'm gonna grab a little more water. Let's see, and if you kind of want to change the angle. Ooh, I'm getting, yeah, it's thicker. I'm getting bigger drops, but I don't know that I mind that. Oh, and I just felt a drop hit my arm here. Can you see the little splatters? And there's some blue ones here. Of course, my skin's kind of pink. I don't know if you can see that. I wear an apron and t-shirts when I paint. Old pants. I have old leggings on right now. So I got a little thinner and I'm getting a little smaller snowflakes. It's hard to think when you're painting, hard to talk. I don't think it's hard to think. I probably have, I just felt one hit my face. Yeah, I think we probably have plenty. Let's see what we've got. If you get one where you don't want it, you can wipe it off before it dries. Okay, so I've got white in my brush. I'm gonna wipe it off on my paper towel. I got quite a bit of paint in there, and try this again. Actually, I'm gonna clean off this brush. I'm gonna use, I've got this liner brush I've been using the last several videos. It's getting to where I can't get a point on it, but it's still pretty small where I can get littler dots, especially if I do a light touch. And then if you want a bigger dot, just kind of wiggle it a little bit. So you could frame this. You need a frame with a little wiggle room because it has, the canvas is folded over. And then it kind of, on this one it's sticking out a little bit. I also put them, oh, I don't have one handy. I have little black metal easel, display easels. You can put it in. That's how I'll sell it at the galleries, in a little black easel. Could put one on his chin. I don't think this will show. I'll put one there. So one thing about covering him up, he's got kind of a halo around him. You could maybe trim your paper towel or whatever you're using a little closer. I like the two color snow. I think that's really fun. I did that, I think, about a year ago on YouTube. First time, I'm like, because I just had this thought, I wonder if, make that one bigger. Ended up really liking it. I like the little fine snow we're getting there. I'm gonna clean off my brush. Let's see. I kept my pom-pom soft. I like that. And we could have kept this edge softer if you didn't want to have the reflective light. Play with it and see what you like. That one didn't show. I think I probably have plenty. But it's fun. Oh, I'm gonna leave that even though I just mucked it. We'll make it kind of a splatter. All right, do we have enough like in the snowman so it looks like it's snowing here? We probably need some lighter ones. We could go 3 shades of snow. I don't know if you need to, but you could. Let's make that one kind of white. Oh, I got a double dot. I like that actually. Okay, stop. You guys just tell me to stop. Okay, I'm gonna sign it. Probably should dry it. I ended up, you could put a shadow in here, but I already mentioned that. I like that that is kind of soft. Okay, I kind of like how dark that is, but then it worried me that it's too dark. Well, that's not dark enough, I don't think. It will dry about a half shade darker, which I kind of like because I can keep bringing up the the light values or the dark values. You can kind of keep inching them down if you want to get, I don't know, just play with them, get more, gosh, I can't come up with the adjective. Nope, I'm sewing it kind of crooked because I'm looking off to the side. One dot for favorite son and one dot for favorite daughter. So A, the crossbar on the A is sort of the T for Troe. A for Annie. Well, fun. I like how this glows. I like how you have a light and the little reflective light. I think that's cute. Oh, but I'm interested to see how this one turns out. It definitely has more drama. So you could use like matte medium or some water and some yellow if you wanted to. But I think I've got enough yellow in here, so I don't want to put it on there. Okay, guys. Hope you had enjoyed this one, had fun tagging along with me. I jumped in a couple times to let you, or to demo some things, just in case you fast forwarded to the end to let those people know. What else? Thank you, and one more big thank you for all your support. I couldn't do this without all of you. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.